morning, Vinita. I'm waiting for some more to join so that we can start our lesson today. Okay, I think some more students have joined. Yes, dear all. So I'll go back to what I was doing. Today, dear students, we shall study King Tut. Okay, that's a new lesson. So we shall study that. That's a new lesson. So we shall study. First of all, let us know what is discovering art. Okay. So before that, dear students, I'd like to give you some information. Like for example, dear students, CBSE has recently sent us a circular informing us about the syllabus distribution. Uh, like nowadays, like it was there in CC time, but after CC got scrapped, the entire syllabus came into force, right? But again, now you shall have two terms like you were having when there was CCE, right? So your entire syllabus will be divided into term 1 and term 2, right? Your entire syllabus will be divided into term 1 and term 2. And which chapters are included, because there are some chapters which will be deleted this year as well due to the ongoing pandemic situation. Some more chapters are going to be deleted. So CBSE is going to send us the reduced syllabus by the end of this month, right? But those chapters which are very important, I am teaching you, of course. I don't think they will reduce these chapters. So that is why I am starting another chapter today. And the entire syllabus will be divided into two parts, term 1, term 2. So supposing that you are having a total of 20 chapters, so 10 will be in term 1, 10 will be in term 2. But it is for sure that in term 1 you shall have a 80 mark sort of multiple choice questions. The question paper will be sent by the board itself. Okay, so we need to practice multiple choice questions more and more now, right? And term two, if the situation improves and school reopens, even if the school reopens before term one, there will be multiple choice questions in term one. And term two, there will be subjective type questions like 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks. But even, I mean, if the school doesn't reopen by the end of the term two, then your exam will be held at home, but with a twist. What is the twist? Tell me. Ask me. The twist is you have to sit in front of the camera, show your table, your paper, everything to the camera, and then you have to write the paper, right? So every student has to turn their camera on and show the table area where he or she is writing, along with the face of the students, and then you shall write the test for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever duration is there, right? So, dear students, this is the news so far given from CBSE, and there will be marks for project, homework, whatever teacher gives you time to time, right? And you are supposed to make the digital record of what you are submitting to your teachers. Whatever you submit, okay, you make it, you save it in the portfolio, your portfolio you save, okay. So suppose a teacher has given you two, like homework, you don't upload, you upload the like project or assignments and all that, okay, you upload on your profile page, right? As I told you how to make the profile, I already gave you direction, instruction as to how to make the profile. Make a single profile for all the subjects, and whatever your teacher gives you, any kind of assignment project, that should go to your profile section, okay, on the web page. Record all your activities, keep it there. Whenever CBSE will ask, we will send them the link directly. All right. So, dear students, that's it. That's about the latest update, and the reduced syllabus we shall be getting by the end of this month. So, we've got to wait for that, right? So, here you are discovering Tut, right? Okay. The story is an account of the mystery surrounding the boy King Tut. This story is a story of mystery. Why? Because there was a boy called King Tut. He died at a very young age, okay, at the age of 19 years, probably. But no one knows how he died. That is why his story is an account of the mystery surrounding the boy King Tut. Being the last heir to the most powerful family that ruled Egypt and its empire for centuries, Tut was laid to rest, laden with gold, and eventually forgotten after his reign of about 9 years. His tomb was discovered by British archaeologist Howard Carter in 1922. It also describes how a CT scan was performed on the king's mummy, and interesting facts were revealed. Right. So, uh, his tomb, King Tut's tomb, was discovered after so many years. After so many years, his tomb was discovered by a British archaeologist. What's the name of the British archaeologist? Howard Carter. Howard Carter discovered his tomb. It also describes how a CT scan was performed on the king's mummy, and interesting facts are also revealed. Right. Now, dear students, we shall go through the text of the story. Omkar, I shall discuss tomorrow because tomorrow is Saturday, so I can discuss something out of the box for you. So I shall give you some hints as to how you can make portfolio, and what are the things required to make a portfolio. So let us make this presentation tomorrow then, okay, Omkar? Because today I've already started, right? So tomorrow being Saturday, certainly I shall discuss about the portfolio. Okay. Okay. So now let's go through this. Discovering Tut, the saga continues. Okay. See here, King Tut was a very famous king of Egypt. But unfortunately, he died at a very young age, so he could not enjoy his kingdom very much. Okay, so and as I told you, after about 3,300 years, after the death of about 3,300 years, his tomb was discovered in 1922 when there was speculation of his untimely death. Right. So, and he was the last heir of a powerful dynasty that ruled Egypt for centuries. He was the last heir of a powerful dynasty. Okay, and his name was Tutankhamun or King Tut. Tutankhamun or King Tut. Right. So, CT scan was also done on him to discover as to how he died because his death was a mystery. He died 3,300 years ago. Can you imagine? After so many years ago, his thing was discovered. What is that called? His tomb was discovered because the archaeologists started taking interest in finding his tomb for the research purpose. Right. So after more than 80 years of search, his body was taken out of the tomb and put through a CT scan. Understood? That is why this lesson is very important. You see here, he was just a teenager when he died. King Tut was just a teenager when he died. The last heir of a powerful family. The last heir of a powerful family that had ruled Egypt um, and his empire for centuries. He was laid to rest, laden with gold and eventually forgotten. So, dear students, it is the custom of Egypt when someone dies along with his coffin, lot of jewelry, everything that he used to wear is given. There was a belief that everything what he used to wear or used to use should be given to him after his death so that in his next birth he does not have any shortage of such things. So that is why he was laid to rest, laden with gold and eventually forgotten. Even the gold and all the jewelries that he used to use were also given in the coffin. In the coffin, since the discovery of his tomb, but his tomb was discovered in 1922, right? So many years, 3,300 years after he died. Can you imagine? 3,300 years after he died, his tomb was discovered in 1922 by a British cartographer, archaeologist. Okay, the modern world has speculated about what happened to him, with murder being the most extreme possible. So the possibility of his death was murder. Okay, um, murder being the most extreme possibility of his death. Now, leaving his tomb for the first time in almost 80 years, Tut has undergone a CT scan. Okay. Well, in almost 80 years means what? Means his start was discovered 80 years before also. Okay, but there was no CT scan done on it. Therefore, when the medical scientists, okay, when the archaeologists became increasingly interested to find out the reason as to why such a famous king died at a very young age and the reason of his death is not known. So everybody started making investigation about his death. Therefore, for the second time after 80 years, he was taken out from his tomb. His coffin was taken out and a CT scan was done. Right. Tut has undergone a CT scan that offers new clues about his life and death. and provides precise data for an accurate forensic reconstruction of the boy's forearm. Okay, now let's see. An angry wind stirred up ghostly dust devils as King Tut was taken from his resting place in the ancient Egyptian cemetery known as the Valley of Kings. So I'll show you some other day, or I can show you now also what is a Valley of Kings. Okay, just hang around, just wait for a little longer. I'll just for a while you wait. I'm just showing you. Just for a while, dear students. For example, I show you Valley of Death. Yes. See, now it has come. Valley of Death. It's a beautiful place where all the Egyptian kings were given burial. Okay, you can see dear students here. You can see all the Egyptian kings were given burial here. Okay, so it's called Valley of Death. See, this is called Valley of Death. Okay, all the kings were given burial after their death. That is why it is called Valley of Death. See, you might have seen, see, Valley of Death. Okay, so cemetery known as the Valley of the Kings, dark bellied clouds had skirted across the desert sky all day and now were veiling the stars in cascade gray. So the description is given in this manner that the clear sky has given away to the clouded sky. Why? Because narrator thinks that it is, or not only narrator, you can say the Egyptian people also think that after the death somebody should not be disturbed, the coffin should not be disturbed, the tomb should not be disturbed. So when Howard Carter, a British archaeologist, was digging out to find out the what is that called, symmetry, to find out the coffin of this one, King Tut, then that is why the writer says that the writer thinks that even the nature is also reacting. How is the nature reacting? The clear sky is given way to dark valleyed clouds. See, dark valleyed clouds has started across the desert sky. So this place is a desert area, so desert sky all day, and now we are veiling the stars in cascade gray. Okay, in the evening also the sky is not clear, and it was the reaction of nature, okay, for disturbing the dead body of a king. Okay, because this is the prevailing belief among the Egyptians and in most religions. I mean, in Islam as well as in Christianity also, you cannot disturb once you give burial. Okay, you cannot disturb the dead body. You cannot disturb the thing. You cannot take out the burial, right? You cannot take out the coffin. Understood? So that is why dark bellied clouds nature is reacting. It was 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005, the world's most famous mummy. So they are called mummy, dear students, okay? Mummy. Dead body, the way they preserve the dead body. See, so can you imagine, dear students, for 3,300 years, the dead body survived. The dead body did not become decomposed, okay? I mean, it remained almost, it remained, of course, little bit of decomposition was there, a little bit of rotting was there, but not altogether, right? So can you imagine the scientific way in which they used to give burial in those days in Egypt, okay? There was lot of scientific thought involved in giving the burial. Understood? So they are called mummy. So you see, I type here. See, see, King Tut. He was King Tut. King Tut. You see, there is a good article given in National Geographic Channel, so you can read about him. See, dear students, National Geographic National Geographic website has also given information about King Tut. Okay, so you can go through this information. You can go through this information. Okay, this is National Geographic. So this is what is called mummy. You see how mummification is done. See how it is preserved here. You can see here how it is preserved. King Tut, how a tomb cast a spell on the world. See, this is how thing was preserved. See, BBC has also made research on the King Tutankhamun, how a tomb cast a spell on the world. So you can see BBC Culture in BBC Culture website also. They have written about uh, Tutankhamun. So can you imagine how famous he was? He was very famous. See, this is written about him, King Tut. See, this is the Valley of Kings. Valley of Kings, from where his dead body was taken out, his coffin was taken out. It is a picture of 1923. Tourist crowd around the entrance to the tomb to watch a large object being removed from Tutankhamun's tomb on its way to the workroom. The extra vacation by Carter here, kneeling in the burial, was one of the most important archaeological finds of the 20th century. Many of the objects have yet to be studied. Okay, so the British archaeologist, okay, uh, Howard Carter, has excavated his body. Okay, excavation he has done. You can see here, Harry Barton documented the contents of Tutankhamun's tomb, including the white box, which contained linen shorts, shawls, loin clothes, 18 sticks, 69 arrows, and a trumpet. See these things. So many things used to be given after with the burial. See, with the okay dead body with the coffin, so many things were also given because they had belief in afterlife. That's why, right? So, dear students, I shall send you the link so you can go through these articles. You shall be able to understand more about King Tut. He is very famous. He is a very famous personality. He is a very famous personality, dear students. So, okay, next you see the world's most famous mummy. It was 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005. The world's most famous mummy glided headfirst into a CT scanner, brought here to prove the lingering medical mysteries. It was a medical mystery also. How he died was a medical mystery as well, right? So, medical mysteries of this little understood young ruler who died more than 3,300 years ago. Can you imagine how many years before he died? 3,300 years ago. Okay, he is his tomb was discovered once again on 5th January 2005, 6 p.m. Right? On that day, his body was glided into the CT scanner. CT scanner. Can you imagine how powerful he was? Now they will study about the cause of his untimely death. So all afternoon, the usual line of tourists from around the world had descended into the cramped rock cut tomb, some 26 feet underground, to pay their respects. I showed you a picture, not there. I showed you a picture of the tourists, right? So they are seeing the things. Okay, I showed you a picture. So this is what all the tourists came from different places to see this procedure. Okay, so all afternoon the usual line of tourists from around the world had descended into the grand rock cut tomb, some 26 feet underground. Can you imagine? This rock cut tomb was 26 feet underground, situated 26 feet underground, to pay their respects. They gazed at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber. Murals means all these designs on the burial chamber. I'll show you, just wait. They gazed at the murals. Okay, they gazed at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber and peered at Tar's gilded face. Gilded means golden face. The most striking feature of his mummy shaped outer coffin lid. Some visitors read from guidebooks in a whisper, others stood silently, perhaps pondering Tar's untimely death in his late teens, or wondering with a shiver if the pharaoh's curse, death or misfortune falling upon those who disturbed him, was really true. Now, all the tourists, they were standing silently, uh, because they are very curious. Perhaps pondering Trump's untimely death in his late teens, they are thinking about how he died at such a young age and how his death is a mystery, or wondering with a shiver if the Pharaoh's curse, death or misfortune falling upon those who disturbed him, was really true. So there was a misconception, or you can say there was a prevailing thought among the people in those days that if you disturb the dead body, if you disturb the dead body, in the sense that if you take out the coffin from the soil, then you might you might be cursed for this. So the visitors were wondering whether they will also be cursed, okay, if they have to believe the prevailing thought of the Egyptian people. Okay, so they used to think that if you disturb the dead body after burial, in that case, a curse will befall on you, right? So the visitors were silent because might be the writer is saying might be they were also scared that cars might fall upon him because they were a witness to this procedure, right? So anyway, now let me show you this one. Now you wanted to see the mural, okay? So I'll show you the mural here. I'll show you mural here, okay? So here, see, these are called murals. The paintings on the wall, underground burial chamber. Okay, in the underground burial chamber in the wall, you will find all these murals. You will find all these murals. Okay, now you see, the mummy is in very bad condition because of what Carter did in the 1920s. So, 1920s, British archaeologist, as I told you, Howard Carter, he has done damage to the coffin of the mummy of King Tut, said Jahi Abbas, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, as he leaned over the body for a long first look. Howard Carter, that is, was the British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. Its contents, though hastily ransacked in antiquity, were surprisingly complete. They remain the richest royal collection ever found and have become part of the pharaoh's legend. Stunning artifacts in gold, their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection, caused a sensation at the time of the discovery and still get the most attention. But that was also buried with everyday things he would want in the afterlife: board games, a bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. So, dear students, these are some of the materials, these are some of the things that King Tut used to use in his lifetime. That is why they were also given. Tut was also buried with everyday things, right? Then richest royal collection ever found. Can you imagine Tut's tomb? So when they discovered Tut's tomb, they could find the richest royal collection with his coffin, inside his coffin, okay, or in and around this coffin. In and around this coffin, also there were many things given with the dead body, and that was the richest royal collection because there are many kings there. So his was the richest royal collection because he was the last king of that dynasty. Okay, so richest royal collection was also given along with the burial. Okay, stunning artifacts in gold, their eternal brilliance. Gold, lot of gold was given, lot of gold. And when Howard Carter discovered it in 1922, and he damaged the mummy also to a great extent because he was not able to take the dead body out of this coffin. It was so hard, so hard. So in the process of taking the dead body out of the coffin, he has damaged the mummy very much. Okay, and at that time, when Howard Carter discovered in 1922, a lot of things are stolen also because thieves were there in around, so they stole many things also. The royal collection also, they somewhere they are still there, of course, but many were stolen also, right? So the writer is saying that it was the richest royal collection ever found and have become part of the pharaoh's legend. Pharaoh means Egyptian kings are called pharaoh. Okay, kings are called pharaohs, dear students. Okay, so lot of gold was given, lot of everyday use things are also given. What he used to use. Okay, you can see the names are also given here. So it was a prevailing custom in those days, dear students. It was a prevailing custom in those days, dear students, that whoever is to die, especially everyone, even the ordinary people also, whoever is to die, they were buried with their belongings, whatever they used to wear or whatever they used to use in their everyday life. Everything was buried along with the dead body. Okay, so that in their next birth they are able to use those objects. So that was a presumption, we can say. That was a presumption, right? That was a belief. After months of carefully recording the pharaoh's funerary treasures, so these are called funerary treasures. Okay, the treasures or the objects that are given along with the dead body. Okay, along with the dead body in the coffin, inside the coffin or outside the coffin, also in the cemetery. So they are called funerary treasures. Carter began investigating his three nested coffins. He had three nested coffins. Okay, like coffin was not just one nested. There are three different chambers in the coffins. Okay, opening the first, he found a shroud. Shroud means a cloth adorned with garlands of willow and olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals, and cornflowers. Can you imagine? The in the first nest, in the first net, or in the first chamber, he found a cloth which was adorned with garlands of willow, olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals, cornflowers, the faded evidence of a burial in March or April. So, if someone died in the month of March or April, so with their dead bodies, these flowers were given. Okay, so it means that King Tut probably died in March or April. When he finally reached the mummy, and then third chamber, when he reached the third chamber, when he finally reached the mummy, though he ran into trouble, the ritual resins had hardened. Resins became very hardened, cementing Tut to the bottom of his solid gold coffin. Can you imagine? It was a gold coffin, dear students, and his body was there. His body was there in the last chamber. This is third chamber, right? And his body became so rigid, okay, with the coffin, with the surface of the coffin, that it was difficult to separate his body from the coffin, right? So that is why the British archaeologists took a lot of time in separating the mummy from the coffin. So he ran into trouble literally, and he had spent lot of time in sort of separating it from the coffin. The ritual resins had hardened, cementing Tut to the bottom of his solid gold coffin. No amount of legitimate force could move them. No amount of legitimate force could move them, Carter wrote later. Right. So human legitimate force could not move the dead body. So he had to take it out for examination. So now you'll see what he does in order to take the dead body out. So that we'll see in the next class, dear students. Now it's time for us to wind up. Okay. So till that paragraph I have taught you, right? So let's wind up, dear students. Tomorrow I shall discuss portfolio and all that. Monday we shall take up once again this lesson. Okay, we shall take up this lesson once again on Monday. Don't read. We shall read together. What you can read, dear students, is the information of King Tut from BBC Culture. Okay, see, this is the information. So this information you can read. Don't read the textbook, read the extra information. Then you can read National Geography information also about King Tut. Okay, so you can read this to information, right? So, dear students, that's it for the day. Please do register your presence by texting me P, and then we shall wind up, right? Yes, thank you, Vinita. Thank you, Om Manasvi. Thank you so much. Please do text me P. The rest of you, Tanvi, Mrudula. Okay, thank you, dear students.